This is Learn Ubuntu Server 1804 Part 2, SSH Configuration. So in this video, we're going to learn how to use a secure shell. And we're going to set it up for passwordless login. We are going to set up a banner at the end. It's just a little fancy banner that shows every time someone logs in with SSH. Ubuntu has its own banner, but we're going to add one too. So let's get started by downloading Putty. I know I used Putty in the first video. However, I did not explain anything about it. I just said login, and that's how we configured UFW and SSH. But we're going to go ahead and download Putty, and we're going to walk through it so you have all of the instructions. So you're going to go to the Putty download page, which this link will be in the description, but you can also just Google the word Putty. That will also bring you to this correct link. Usually the first, I think it's the first result. This is putty.com. It also links to this page. But go ahead and download the version you would like, 32 or 64-bit. And then once it's downloaded, we start the installer. And here you can see the installer is pretty straightforward and simple. And it's going to install two program files, Putty. We're going to install Putty files. Make sure you associate PPK files with Putty Gen and Pageant. I would just leave it as default. You can add a shortcut to the desktop if you'd like as well, but I'm not going to do that. We're gonna do it a little different here in the video. So we're gonna go ahead and click next and go ahead and install it. I don't want to view the README. I've seen it a million times. Okay, so there we go. We've got Putty downloaded and installed. So we go back to our desktop. Let's find Putty. So Putty, there it is. Putty, our desktop app. We're gonna go ahead and open it and run Putty here. Down here in the taskbar, we're going to right click. This is really neat. Pin to taskbar. Hold on, we got to delete that. Okay, and we've got Putty up and running. I know I have some configurations here from my servers. Just ignore those. But the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to connect to our server since it's up and running. Mine is running in VirtualBox. I assume yours is up and running somewhere as well. So we're going to start by putting our IP address in, 10.5.1.200. And our port is 22. Our connection type is SSH. We're going to go ahead and open it. It's going to log in. It's going to ask us for a username. Log in as admin local. And test1234, which is the username and password we set up on the first video. So if we go back here and we look, you can see our Putty window, and you can see login as, and then asks us for the password, and then this is our welcome screen. It shows us our system information, and then it gives us some security information. It says 9 packages can be updated. 9 updates are security updates. We're not going to worry about that right now. Those should be updated, but not a big deal. So here we are. We're logged in. Now that we're logged in, just ignore what I just did there because I already had this set up. We are going to create a folder called SSH, and we are going to change the modification parameters of that folder. So we are going to make directory ~, which is a shortcut to your home directory, .ssh. So that's going to create a .ssh folder in our home folder. See, as you can see, it's right here, .ssh. But the only thing is everybody can access this folder. We don't want that. We only want the owner to be able to access this folder. So we are going to change mod, chmod 700 SSH. So that, in turn, changes this folder to read, write, and execute owner only. So it doesn't matter if you're in my admin local group, and it doesn't matter if you're everyone. You just cannot change this folder unless you are the admin local user, as you can see from right here. I'll explain that more in another video. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a file inside of our SSH folder. We're going to touch.ssh/authorized_keys. So this authorized keys folder is going to hold our public key. So when we connect to the server using a private key, it's going to check this authorized key for the public key and match them up. If they match, we log in. No password needed. But we have to generate those keys. So let's go back to our desktop here, and we're going to use a program that came with Putty to generate those keys. As you can see, there's my Putty window. So we're going to go back and we're going to search for Putty Gen. And you're going to go ahead and open that up. And here is Putty Gen. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure it's RSA. And we are going to change the key length to 4096. Currently, we have no key loaded. So we are going to generate a key. And when we click generate, it's going to ask us to move the mouse over this blank area to generate the key faster. As you can see, I move the mouse around, the bar goes faster. I slow it down, the bar slows down. So it takes noise from driver input and it creates randomness and it creates our key. So once this is finished, the key is, now that's done, now the key is generated. Okay, so once this is finished, we're going to change the comment. I like to put my email address in the comment of the key. No passphrase. That would completely make us trying to log in without a password useless. It would add a password. If you add a key phrase, it'll ask you for the password for the key every time you try to log in. And we don't want to do that. We're just going to leave it as it is. So we have our public key for pasting into open SSH authorized keys file. This is what we're going to want to copy and paste into the file we just created on our server. Right here, this whole thing. So we're going to select all of that, right click, copy, and we're going to go back here and we're going to open our authorized keys file. Go back here, nano.ssh, oops, misclick, SSH authorized keys. If you press tab, it'll autocomplete. The lifesaver. Then we're going to pop that in there, and it's going to put it all on one line, as you can see here. That's the way we want it. So we're going to Control X to save in nano, and then enter. So now we have our authorized keys file saved, and we can just go ahead and exit our session here. The next thing we're going to do is we have to set up, we have to save our private key. So are you sure you want to save this passphrase? Yes, we do not want a passphrase. We're going to save it right there. Save. Overwrite the existing one. Yes. And we're going to save our public key too, just in case. Go ahead and save that and overwrite that one. I already had them saved previously, but they're different. So we just regenerated them. Okay, next, we are going to go ahead and open Putty again on our desktop here. I put it down here so we can open it pretty simply. And we're going to create a new connection. So just like before, except this time, we're going to put the username at the beginning. Let me make that bigger for you. Admin local at 10.5.1.200. Port 22 SSH. And we don't have this as a saved session yet, but we're going to. So first we're going to go down here to this SSH right here. Expand that and go to the auth. I'm not going to expand this. We're going to use this little box right here to browse and find our PPK key right there, our Learn Ubuntu private key. Open that up. Then we're going to go back up to session. And in our saved session, we're going to put admin local at Learn Ubuntu. So we can save it as, this is easier to remember. This is the username we're logging in as at the server we're logging into. And then we're going to hit save here, and it's going to save it in my list here. So anytime we load this, it'll load up all of the stuff that all of the saved stuff we put in here. So what we're going to do, I also like to change a couple of things. Let me change a couple of things while we're in here, just because we're playing with Putty. So we're going to go to appearance. And under appearance, we're going to change this. I really like using the Ubuntu font. So we're going to change this font to the Ubuntu font. You can't see my dialog box here. Let me go ahead and add it. There you go. There's my font window that I'm looking at. So we have our Ubuntu Mono font, regular, and I'm going to make it just a little bigger so you guys don't have as hard of a time seeing it. So we change that, and just go ahead and leave everything else alone. But you can change a lot of things. You can change colors. You can change a lot of stuff. Let's go back here to session, and we're going to save one more time. So we're save the change that we made with the font. And now we're going to take this, and we're going to go ahead and open it. And bam, we are logged in. And as you can see, our font has changed. And if we scroll up, you can see that using username admin local, authenticating with public key, and it's going to give you your comment, which is your username, or which is your email address. And you'll see welcome to Ubuntu 18.04, just like before. And now we're all in the Ubuntu font. It's a little bit bigger and easier to read. So next, we're going to talk about banners. So creating an SSH banner is like creating basically a message for everyone when they log in. You'll see a message. A lot of them you'll see people do ASCII art or just simple things like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our configuration for Putty. We have to use sudo, and let's see, SSHD config. And test1234 is our password. So in here, this is where we can configure. We looked at this in the first video, and we didn't touch anything. But we're going to go down here. And these are all the default. Everything that's commented out is actually the default setting. So as you can see, here's why our authorized keys work, is because this works, because this is the default setting. This is where our authorized keys are, and this is the file we made, and that's why it works. And now we can do a couple of things in here. We can actually, we're going to start with the banner. Where is our banner? Banner. So we're going to give us a banner, and we're going to put our banner in SSH banner. We'll just leave it as banner. We'll just create a file with no extension. And then we can also, if you'd like to, you can disallow logging in with a password. That will only allow people to log in with a RSA key. They would no longer be able to log in with their regular password. They would have to use a key. We can change that up here somewhere. Where is it? Password authentication. So let me see here. If we change the option password authentication to no, and we change PAM down here. PAM is what lets us authorize using our Linux users. You can authorize using different types of databases of users, but PAM is just the default user manager of Linux. There are other ones such as OpenLDAP, and that all gets confusing. But right now we're just going to tell PAM, no, we're not going to allow you to allow us to log in. And you can go ahead and you can read through this text here. It'll explain that a little better. The comments are very good in this file. So we have that, and now we can create our banner file. So let's save that. So our banner file, sudo nano, let's see, SSH banner. So here's our banner file. Currently it's empty. And let's add something in there. I have a little bit of ASCII art. I'm just going to copy and paste in there real quick that I've created. It's a text generator that I use. You can find them on the internet. They're not that tough to find. You can Google ASCII art generator. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with this. There's even a cow say thing we can do. I'm not going to go through that in here, but if you'd like that, just leave me a comment that says, hey, I'd like you to show me how to use cow say with your daily thing, because that'll actually bring up a cow. It'll give you a fortune, or you can set a bunch of things for it to say, and it's random. It'll pick a random thing to say. So we're going to go ahead for now and set grab this and grab that. Just have to copy it into here. Okay, so there we have some ASCII art. It says learn Ubuntu. So we're going to save that, save as banner, and we're going to go ahead and exit our session. And now we're back to our desktop, and we're going to go ahead and open our session again. So when we log in this time, we should see our new banner. So when we go ahead and click open, and it's asking me who to log in as because I clicked the wrong one. Hold on a second. Admin local. Double click. Where's our banner? It's not there. Well, I did something wrong, huh? I didn't restart SSHD. That's probably it. So basically, what this banner is, it's just a message of the day banner. You can put whatever you want on it. You can change it every day. I just put it there just to look at. It's kind of neat to see when you log in. It kind of helps you to see what's going on. So what we can do is change this a little bit. We just have to restart SSH and it should work. SSHD is the service for SSH, and restart. It'll probably close our session. And test 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we've restarted SSH, and we can exit, and let's log back in. Click on our Putty icon again. This is why I love having it there, by the way. And we can load our settings for admin local at Learn Ubuntu, and click open. And there's our broken ASCII art, but it worked. It's broken, but it worked. But now, as you can see, it's no longer showing the default Ubuntu there. This needs to be set to the same size as your screen so that this comes out the right way. As you can see, it kind of came out the right way. There's just some extra lines. Let's go to here. You can see it better on this window. So let's go ahead. Yeah, there you go. You can see it better there. See, you can see that there's a couple of extra lines. It was too long. If I cut those down and I made it smaller, so if I do SSH, change that banner. Let's make it a little shorter, because as you can see, yeah, it sticks out. So we'll just make it the word learn. That's going to be tough. I have to delete one at a time. I'll just copy that from the website again. So if I change it, oh no, I pushed the wrong button. This one's a whole different one. Okay. Let's find it. I'm going to try to find a smaller one. I'm going to smush it together so it fits. And so we're going to copy this one. I'm going to go ahead and delete all the lines in this file. Paste that one. There. That one will fit. As you can see, Learn Ubuntu, it's ASCII font. I mean, you can type anything you want in there either, as well. Doesn't really matter. So let's exit one more time. Go back to our desktop here, and we are going to open admin local at Learn Ubuntu. And yep, there it is, Learn Ubuntu, just like we expected. So that is now our banner. We do not have the Ubuntu banner anymore. If we turn this off and we say none again, it will then show us the original banner. But since we had some updates, let's go ahead and update. Sudo apt update. Sudo apt upgrade. And yes, so let's see, what are we getting? Apport, some libraries, systemd library, libpam library, Python 3. Just some updates, some security updates. So we'll go ahead, update that, and then once that's finished, that'll be the end of our video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave me a comment. I will answer it as soon as I see it. If you have any other questions about anything, creating banners, creating the keys, if you want me to go into more detail about anything, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.